Hello, this is going to be as comprehensive of a guide as I can make about how to play some Terraria. When you click launch, and this might take a bit longer on your first launch if you've just turned on your system, you'll see the splash screen. If you're booting up the game for the first time, single player, you will see a list of characters you can create. If you're new, this will be empty. To create a new character, hit new. This will determine what you will look like in the game. These are all cosmetic. However, there are 3 different difficulties. You will want to click softcore. Softcore is you keep all your items, you only drop money. Medium core is like Minecraft, where you lose your inventory. And hardcore is you die, you're done. Keep it on softcore. When you create it, it will then ask you for a name. When creating a new world, you can choose from small, medium, or large. Now, even small worlds are large. There's 2 world difficulties. The standard Terraria experience expert. Mobs are harder, bosses have more health, but there are more cool items that you can get. Normal for now. You might not see this option. I'm just going to say random. Name it. Sure. You're going to see the world generation screen. Now, it might take a while. This is a small world, so it shouldn't take too long. Click play to actually launch the world with your character. So here we are. We're in the world. Space to jump, WASD to move, and I just realized I need to make a new character. This is what you actually start with. A sword, which kind of pokes, a pickaxe, and an axe. Now, there are some things to look at. Up here, your life is represented by heart. Every 20 health is 1 heart. Mana, you start with 20 and you can get more. This is the mini-map. You can zoom out, you can zoom in the mini-map. That resets it to default. The top left, you have your hotbar, which will be bound with keys 1 through 0. Also, the scroll wheel on your mouse will scroll through them. Below it, you can see a list of buffs and debuffs. One of the first things you might want to do, chop down a tree. You just need to chop the bottom of the tree, and the whole rest of the tree will fall. Like that. There's a person sitting around here, that's the guide. Right-click is to interact. A dialog box will come up, and he can help you. To look at your inventory, press escape. Now there's suddenly a lot more things going on your screen. On the bottom left area is like a list of things you can craft. Torches are nice. I like being able to see. And a workbench. This is the main thing used to craft items in the beginning. Now that you've placed it down, you can see you have a lot more options. So you can scroll through. It's kind of a lot to scroll through. So you can also press this little hammer button to see it in just a big list. We could make a wooden sword and also some basic wooden armor. This works as you might think. You can make it. Nice. But I kind of want to get started on a house because I know night is dangerous. When you meet certain criteria in the game, NPCs, like the guide, spawn in. I'm only going to make a 1-room house. They don't need to be made out of wood. Houses need a few things to qualify as a house. Walls. There's a difference I want to mention between blocks and walls. Wooden block here, it's physical. I can't move through it. But this wall over here, it's in the background. You've just placed some walls that you don't want. You need the hammer to destroy walls. Make enough walls to fill in the house. And don't be stingy because if you make over the amount of walls, you can notice right down here, you can turn them right back into wood blocks. Let's see if 84 is enough. Oh, whoops, I'm getting ahead of myself. Perfect. I left a gap of 3 tiles, and this is for doors. Right-click to interact to open them. Now, if you're wondering, is this a house? You can press escape to open this up. There's equipment, housing, and camera mode. Housing, you can see, you have the guide, and housing query. Basically, housing query will tell you, if you click inside of one of the houses you've made, if it's valid or not. It's saying it's missing a light source and a chair. To be a house, a room needs walls, to be enclosed with blocks, to have a light source, to have a chair, and a table. There's dedicated table furniture, but a crafting table actually still qualifies as a table, but a table is a bit cheaper to make. Make a chair. And then these torches that I made earlier actually act as a great light source. All right, housing query. Is this good? This housing is suitable. I'm going to move the guide in. Perfect. Campfires are useful though. Life regen is increased when near a campfire. Highly recommend building this. I only have enough to make 1 wooden breastplate, but this is a good example of how the equipment system works. So I'm going to make it, and it gives me 1 defense. So you can see this little shield here. It says I have 0. Right-click to quickly equip it. And if you have 2 breastplates, right-clicking it will swap them. There's 3 rows. There's your helmet, your chest plate, and your pants. These are the 3 basic components of your armor. Then there's 5 accessory slots. These are all the things that give you stats. Then there's social slots. You can wear armor in this, but it doesn't give you any bonuses. It's for the looks. Dye slot lets you color and tint. These eyes here just make accessories visible or invisible. A little life hack I like to use is if my inventory is getting a little full and I have a lot of accessories, even though you don't get the stats, they still don't count as being in your inventory. So you can use that to save some space. But there's also a second equipment tab here. So this is like your armor and stuff you wear. And this is like the stuff you use. There's pet, light pet, minecart, mount, grappling hook. There's some keybinds to go over. So we already went over escape to open menu. And there's also tab to change the style of minimap, cycle between 3 styles. Default, superimposed, which if you look closely, you can kind of see you are the center of this minimap. Tab again to completely hide it. If you want to see the whole map, press M to open the whole map. Scrolling in and out here zooms in and out of your world. You can click and drag to move it around. If it's someone on your team, you can actually click on their heads if you have a wormhole potion to teleport to them. You've built a house. You can probably huddle there for the night if you're scared, or you can walk around. The only death penalty in this game is money, so I like to walk around. On to quality of life stuff. Let's say you're digging. You have to kind of move your mouse back and forth when you do this. Now, if you don't want to do that, if you press Control, it gets a little wider. And there's a little yellow box that appears. This is the smart cursor. This lets you just click and hold in a direction, and I'm not moving my mouse back and forth at all. If you just hold sideways direction, it'll make a perfect 3 tall corridor. Now, oh, here's something good. So notice how on my hotbar, I don't have my torches equipped, but yet I'm pulling out my torches. It's saying it's in slot 37, which is not a key that I have. What am I doing? I'm actually pressing and holding Shift, which is the context sensitive cursor. So I'm going to scroll to wood. If I hold Shift over this background or in the air, it'll default to my torch. If I put it over the dirt, it'll bring up my pickaxe. Now there's other things you can adjust in the menu. Things I like to change are the UI scale. So I like it at 130. If you set it to 100, boop, everything becomes tinier. You can also adjust the zoom from here. Although in game, what I was doing is on your keyboard, the plus button zooms you in and the minus button zooms you out, like so. I like to be zoomed in for building and zoomed out for fighting. Under cursor, you notice that sometimes it's kind of hard to see, so you can go to cursor. Now you can change the color of your cursor, but the border. Personally, I like to set this to like white, pure white. Now look, my cursor has this bright white border, so it's very, very clear where my cursor is at all times. You will eventually have a lot of items, more than you can store, and then you'll want some storage management control. If you press and hold Alt, and you roll over an item, you'll see your cursor change into a little star, and when you click an item, they'll get a little fun border around it. This means quick trash, stacking, and selling will be blocked. If you ever click Deposit All into a chest, this will not come with it. If you ever quick stack into a nearby chest, this will not come with it. You can unfavorite it by doing the same thing. Quick selling or quick trashing is pressing and holding Shift, and it changes to a trash icon and putting it in your trash. The quick stack to nearby chest function is amazing. If you're nearby a chest within a certain range, pretty small, and there's an item in that chest that also exists within your inventory, and you press this button, all the items from your inventory sift down into the proper chests. Your ore chest, you have your plant chest, and you come back from an expedition with both ores and plants, and you quick stack to nearby chests. Your plants will go to where they are, and your ores will go to where they are, and they'll make new stacks in the chest if there's not enough room. The only thing to do now is decide what you want to accomplish. You could explore left and right, could maybe just dig straight down, just explore your world. You'll find cool things. As long as you remember your controls, you'll be good. Speaking of controls, E, which doesn't do anything, but it's the grapple hook button. When you do get a grapple hook, E will let you grapple. R is the mount button. It will let you either get on your mount, or if you're close to a mine track, right on top of it, it'll let you get in your minecart. And you actually start with a minecart by default, even though it doesn't show it. You start with this little rickety wooden one, but it gets the job done and it's pretty fast. T will throw whatever item you're holding. T will throw an individual. This is useful if there's like a big dark pit and you want to throw a torch down. H to quick heal, J to quick mana, B to quick buff. For quick heal and mana, it will use the upper leftmost item in your inventory. Also, what you can do is right-click on items in your inventory to split the stack. Left-clicking will rejoin the stack. Left-clicking will place them in the world. I'm clicking on nothing, so I can't place it. I have to actually place it. But right-clicking will throw it out. And this is how you can like split 4, maybe 5 you want to give to your friend. Right-click it and you give it to them. Now, if you want to host a game, you will click multiplayer, host and play, select who you want to play with, and I'll be in my tutorial world. Now here is key. Steam multiplayer enabled. Allowed users friends. This means that people need to be friends to join your game. You don't need to send them anything special. You just need to be playing on host and play with this enabled and they can join you. Invite only means that they can't. You need to explicitly send them an invite. Allow friends of friends means that people can join on their friends and not just on you. I'm going to say yes. This is the most open you can possibly have it, which means your friends can join you with no hassle. And if someone has them on Steam but not you, they can join on their friends on your world. So I'm going to start it. Now you can enter a server password if you want, or you can leave it blank if you want to make it even easier. I'm going to say no password. Now people can join the game and play. But let's exit and let's pretend we're coming at this from the perspective of someone wanting to join. You can click multiplayer, join via Steam. Now then your Steam page or Steam menu screen will come up. This person here is playing Terraria. If this person was using Host and Play, there'd be a play button basically right next to launch game right above it. You would play that, and then you would come to what would look like your player screen. You'd select your character and you'd be off. This gets a bit more complicated if they set a password or if they're on invite only mode. But when you're in multiplayer, another thing will pop up. You can actually select a team color like this. There's now team colors and like a little sword icon. So I'm going to join blue team. Everyone else on blue team will now show up on your screen as the name of their character and the distance they are away from you. The swords, if you click it, PvP is enabled, which means that you can take damage and deal damage to anyone else who has PvP enabled, but I'm going to leave that off. But yeah, that's it.